3,000.
Well, yeah. So then when you come back, you see it's changed, the landscape's changed, those guys are doing things, but they've still got the graph background, and you're like, okay, well, where did you fit in that, sort of fucking artistic space?
I think, yeah, when I got back, I was just more determined to do music than graph. I'd been out of it for, I hadn't, every year progressively in London, I just painted less and less, which, and since coming back, it's kind of gone the other way. Slowly every year I paint more and more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not painting that much, to be honest. My kid's getting into it now, my son, so that's cool. So he's getting me fired up because he wants to come out all the time.
Right.
Just doing legit stuff.
Yeah.
But so it's I was trying to focus on music more, definitely. And then so about probably a year after I got back here, and we did a few shows. Like there was the track walk one at Revolver was good fun. And a bunch of other shows. My mate was DJing for me, Horseplay. But yeah, anyway, so and then Baby came along, so
changes things.
That changes things, yeah. I think you can still do both, but you kind of got to have I've seen a few people have kids and they're already doing street art or doing graph for a living or whatever, and it works. Like Jimmy's making it work.
Mm-hmm.
A few
it's
other
still
people,
a grind for him, though.
It's a grind, and he was already
a lot of time away from his family. His missus doesn't drive. It makes it hard. There's a lot of
100%.
A lot for a lot of people.
100%. Yeah, and I just fuck. And I definitely I'd been working part time, so I'm a software engineer. So I was doing part time but then as soon as the baby come along, I'm like, fuck, I got to step up.
Mm-hmm.
And went back to doing corporate shit, which Ask 'em always gave me shit for. Because I've got videos of me standing out the front of fucking Wall Street and the Bank of England, rapping about money and how it's fucked and corporate shit.
And you're a corporate shill.
Yeah, all that stuff. And hopefully it's fucking not on the YouTube anymore. But hopefully I took it down. Anyway, but yeah, when I went down that path, he used to bag the shit. Man, you sold out, man. You're going corporate. I'm like, yeah, I know.
When did he come into the mix? Because he's one of the SDM dudes that I don't really know, man.
We've known Ask him for years, in the 90s. He was from out my way. He is from out my Basie way. So I'd known him for years, and then definitely, I don't know when he got put in SDM. It was after I left.
Yeah.
But he was painting with loads with dabs and that.
Yeah. And his style is so crisp and clean, and Danny describes it, it's just understated funk. It's just fucking good, man.
It is sick, and he's it's gonna be one of the cleanest fucking painters out there, right?
Yeah.
And he's always good to paint with. I'll ask him his opinion on shit because he paints a lot more than me. I'll go, what do you reckon of this? And he's like, yeah, man, try this out. And it's always good to paint with him.
How do you think your style's evolved over the years? Because you've always been heavy on the serifs.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's got their own style. You know what I mean? Generally, and it evolves. With Tom, we've seen it evolve a lot.
Definitely.
With Discreet, we've seen it evolve a lot.
100%. Yeah.
You look at what he was doing in those early days, very intricate, curvy things, and now he's going for more of that undesigned kind of abrupt style, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you call it.
You've stayed, and you and Trim have stayed very much to your style, but it's evolved.
Yeah. No, you're right. And at the moment, I'm kind of referencing old sketches and shit myself, so I kind of like trying to keep it at that era.
Mm-hmm.
I never got too loose when that Euro style came out or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, I wasn't painting as much anyway, so I kind of stuck to the style.
But your style always had a little bit of that kind of Euro-ish vibe to it anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was never overly...
Wasn't full Melbourne.
Well, yeah, it didn't get overly... You've never been one for a lot of arrows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or wild style sort of thing. You've always been kind of letter structure based, from what I can see.
100%. Yeah, I'm more trying to get into techniques than changing the style up at the moment. Because there's a lot of stuff I don't know, things stuff like Deviate's doing, like, just blown away by all this shit. And a lot of guys now, just some of the rendering and stuff's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I'm pretty inspired trying to get down that stuff,
We skipped over because you didn't go doing whole trains writing Jester. So where did
Right.
Method come from?
Yeah, okay, cool. Method, sorry, having a deep think here. So Method was my mate, like, who from year 8, the original guy who got me into graff, which I haven't seen him for years. That was his Guernsey. So he didn't, when I got caught for stubby, and I hadn't seen him in years, and he wasn't writing anymore. I was like, oh fuck it, I'll just take that tag. That was a good tag, and that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, doesn't have like the best letters, like O and D next to each other aren't perfect, but the word's good. I like Method. It's a good word.
The thing is, with people often say that with letters, they're like, oh, these letters are good or that letter's good. It's all in the eye of the beholder and how.
Yeah.
It's like some people, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's what you make of it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can make anything work if you keep at it for a bit. Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
And that's with like Instagram, just, graph stuff comes up in my feed. You see people make letters work that you never think would work. People are like, it's just you just gotta fucking
Yeah, such a different time, right? Like, that was why Melbourne had such a unique style, because there's no internet. All we had was fucking Subway Art and then Hype magazine, but that was all local stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, styles have changed for that reason, but I liked. Yeah, it was good when it was quite unique. What everything. I mean, like, Melbourne's got its own style still, but definitely, like, the Instagram, internet kind of things had an influence on
everything.
Yeah, it's like a global style now, right?
Yeah, and not only in graffiti, it changed everything though.
Yeah.
Like, Instagram has changed a lot of stuff, but I think when it comes to graffiti, there's pre-Instagram and post-Instagram, almost like there's pre-internet and post-internet.
There is, right? Yeah. Yeah, and I guess if you're trying to learn, it's good to have that access.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially, now if I'm trying to draw, like, I'm drawing a bunch of pictures at the moment for a mate, for his kids, but I'm like trying to search for characters, and, like, in the old days, I had no internet, I'd have to fucking figure it out myself, but you can just look up, like, a picture of a dog or Samoyed or something, and there's something there, someone's done it already.
Yeah.
So the references are much better.
Or AI can do it for you.
AI can do some crazy shit. Have you seen, it's a bit off tangent, it's called Italian Brain Rot. My kids are all into this shit at the moment, but it's like, Brain Rot's, it's all these AI, like, pictures people are coming up with. Because you can do ridiculous shit with AI, like, so they've got, like, a character, it's like Crocodilo Bombadillo. So it's like a bombardier plane with, like, a crocodile head. Someone's just prompted an AI, and there's, like, a shark with, like, Nike shoes on and shit.
I've seen that, yeah.
The kids fucking love it. Like, they're sharing it around with each other all the time. It's got, like, this Italian dude narrating it. It's fucking crazy. Like,
it's weird to think what sort of hits in a viral capacity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, stuff that you don't think would work somehow just finds a fucking audience.
exactly, and I like the idea that they're doing what, like, it looks realistic, photorealistic, but it's actually just coming up with shit no one would think of, right? I guess that's one good aspect of AI. You can just make shit up and it'll print out a realistic photo of it.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the grand scope of AI, with the automation and just people losing their jobs. It's a scary time. It's a scary time. It's changing quicker than fucking anything.
Yeah, and like, a couple of years ago, they were making jokes to truck drivers saying learn to code. And the irony is, like, I think it's the opposite. Like, you need to learn, like, so my job as a software engineer has been around 25 years, probably in the web world anyway. And it might not, I don't know what it's going to look like even in a couple of years from now, but, and the irony is, like, the people who are building this are engineering themselves out of a job, like, going hard on the AI tools, which, it's a rat race, I guess, but.
Well, like anything though, it always, whenever there's new technology that comes in that becomes part of popular culture and impacts the global workforce, always creates new industries we didn't know existed.
Definitely.
Or didn't exist previously.
Yep.
If you said to someone 50 years ago, I'm going to be a software engineer, they would have said, what are you going to do? Go work at NASA? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
then it becomes a normal thing that anyone can do remotely,
Yeah, and I'm not particularly, like, I've been around doing it for a while, so I'm not worried. I worry about junior kids who just done a fucking computer science degree or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right though. I mean, think of all the things that have disappeared. Like even in the last 20 years, different jobs have come and gone. People always find something new will open up.
Yeah, and a positive I think to take from it is look, and we sort of have to look on the brighter side, look at the glass half full because it's not going anywhere. AI.
No.
The positive thing is, and we've seen this change in the last sort of 15 years of people not working full time, not working in a 9 to 5 job, 40 hours a week. So
Yeah.
people are starting to work more remotely or do little jobs here or there. The gig economy, all that stuff, that is here to stay, which means people can have a better work-life balance. That's the kind of positive I'm trying to take from it.
Yeah, 100%. That was like the gift of COVID. Like in one way, like I mostly work remote now. And I can work for companies who are overseas.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Do you find it hard to be motivated at home though?
No, I prefer like as long as you got a job, you have to finish. Like I can manage my own time. Definitely prefer that. So if something comes up during the day, I can go do it and then come back to it. My kids are young, so I can go get them from school now, which I wouldn't have been able to do that before.
From a software engineer point of view, have you seen a shift or anything change as dramatically as how AI has impacted that in the last couple of years?
I just try it has changed a lot and it's moved fast the whole way through. I think one big thing was Flash disappeared. That was a whole fucking industry.
Yeah.
And we're going back about 10, 15 years now. But there was I knew a few people who were Flash developers, and then suddenly there was, because Steve Jobs killed it, he said on the iPhone, we're not supporting Flash. Before that, they were fucking cool websites, like animated websites. They probably weren't that usable, but the internet was a lot more fun, I guess, back then. So that kind of went really quickly, just fucking died. So a lot of people had to move on or just give up.
I think the moral of the story is you can't be too niche with anything.
That's true.
Because if that gets a rug pulled out from under it, then where do you go? So you kind of got to be broad with your skill set, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think now with engineering jobs, I think it's going to be, you need to know how to use a bunch of different tools. So you might not just be like a front-end developer in React. You might have to know about back-end stuff, and that's going to be where the work is, because these things can be automated pretty easily on their own.
Yeah.
You just have to manage all the projects, join the dots.
And how do you think it's going to work? Because a lot of stuff used to get outsourced offshore because they had it was cheaper. So now there's two different ways this could go. It could mean that those people offshore that are willing to work for less will get good at the AI stuff, which levels the playing field with the Western world, or those people are out of a job because the people that were using them as outsourced work, as freelancers, can do it themselves.
Yeah. And I mean, they're probably... So I'm working with an offshore company at the moment. But yeah, they'd be using AI themselves to code.
Yeah. They're just more efficient at it, maybe.
They're more efficient. So this is the thing, this is why I'm not that worried. You still need someone who knows a bit about how the internet works or how an app works, how a website works. You can't just expect AI is going to do all that shit for you.
Yep.
So, if they're paying an offshore company a small amount of money, they'd probably be happy for that to happen.
Yeah.
However the job's getting done. They don't care how the job gets done.
Do you think we're only a couple of years away from someone like me with zero fucking skill being able to create an app with AI? Is that on its way, do you think?
Yeah, I'm never quite sure.
It's hard to
know.
But you could see it happening though, couldn't you?
Yeah, but this is the thing, with AI at the moment, it's if you use ChatGPT, it's kind of like that. When someone says something with authority, you go, oh yeah, they know what they're talking about. It's kind of like that. You ask it a question, it comes back with confidence and says, this is what you need to do. And it could be total. Then I've definitely had this where you prompt it again and go, hang on, no, but what about this? And oh yeah, that's right. No, it's actually how you do it this way.
Yeah.
This is fucking someone with too much confidence giving me wrong information. I've had that quite a bit.
Yeah, I've hardly tried to use it, right? Hardly at all. And just to work out my scheduling, you're a Pies guy as well. I'm a Collingwood guy. I asked it to add to my calendar all the Collingwood games, right?
Right.
And then give me a list of all the Collingwood games for season 2025.
Yep.
And it couldn't do that because I guess it's scouring the internet and then picking up different games, maybe women's games, maybe this, and then I'm like, men's, you know what I mean? It was just getting confused and it couldn't actually do that. And I'm like, if it can't do that, then I don't have that much confidence.
Nah, and I've used it for like legal stuff, like just for business and that recently. And it's given me, like, told me to do all this shit, and I took it on board. And then when I started actually putting into action, it's like, that was wrong.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's ever going to be I should never say never. Like, people are building agents that do all kind of interesting stuff, but I think you're going to still need someone to check that off at the end.
And that's the agent thing is something that gets thrown around a lot when I'm doing research into it. Like I said, I'm not using ChatGPT or AI much, but I'm trying to learn about it because I feel like I need to. Can you explain the agent thing to us? It's like, is it using different AIs together or something that kind of brings... Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll give the best explanation.
But you know more than me.
I know, maybe, hopefully. I don't know, let's see. I have built a couple, like, small ones.
Oh, you have?
Just, like, to play around. But essentially you got, like... And you can use the same LLM, but essentially you're getting... Each one has a task. That, like, agent's just a way of code. It's like it's not actually an app or anything. It's just a way of kind of discipline. So you've got one LLM will have one task, and then the next one will have to reason with that task and check it's okay. And then that'll have a task.
They're cross-checking each other, sort of.
Exactly, yeah, and it goes down a chain.
It's making them accountable for the other one.
Yep.
And so you can do that within, when you say LLM, large language model, so you've got ChatGPT or Claude or whatever the other ones are.
Yep.
And they can work in conjunction with each other to kind of...
That's right.
So So let's use it for a real case study. If I said, give me all the Collingwood games this year, ChatGPT, and then give it to Claude, and Claude's going to fact check that and make sure that that's right. And for the season 2025, and then when that's done, you're going to send it to the calendar and you're going to check it. So it's like...
That's exactly right, yeah.
Okay.
But, and I really haven't seen many actually released. People keep talking about them, but I haven't seen any, like, really big use cases yet. I know a few people are building interesting stuff with them, but there's still, you know, what if this one that's doing the reasoning is actually wrong, or, you know, validating the other agent has actually got it wrong. So that's where I don't know enough about it to say with confidence that this is how it's going to work.
Yeah. But it is getting better, and it's happening at a rapid rate. I think people that have sort of monotonous jobs in an office scenario, automation is a reality, could put them out of work reasonably quickly once they get that sort of dialed in, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting times.
Interesting times.
It'd be interesting to see how it goes the next couple of years.
I know, man. I think it's going to change so quickly.
It is, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Enough about the the boring stuff. Let's move on to your stuff. So, when you did the Ebonics, Bogonics, when you did that, you were under a different musical alias.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was Cozza Bags. So,
because of bags?
Cozza. This is a really dumb story. Cozza's my nickname. And when I was like 15 or whatever, I used to roll up to parties with a cask under my arm, and dudes at school and that started to nickname it the Cozza Bag because I would always show up with one.
Yeah. And
it actually like spread around. This is not a good story.
What was your goon of choice?
Fruity Lexia, Coolabah Fruity Lexia.
Yeah.
Anyway, but some of my mates like met these dudes from a totally different area out in the east there, and they were calling it the Cozza Bag, and they didn't even know why. So it spread around. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I did that is I just Method Man. I'm like, I'm going to do rap. I'm just going to get... I don't want to keep answering that question, why are you choosing Method? It's already taken, sort of thing. So I wanted to keep them separate at the start. Yeah. But now I've gone, so now I'm using Method SDM for my music.
Uh-huh. And so you've released some stuff already under that new name last year.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So December I put an EP out, and I've got an album coming out 1st of October. Mm-hmm. So that was another thing during COVID. Working remotely, I know not everyone can do that, so I was lucky definitely to be in that job where I could. But I was, I saw someone post on LinkedIn, which is the worst for motivational shit, like shit posts and that. But anyway, someone I knew said, I'm getting up at 6 and I can do all this shit before 9. It's like, that's actually not a bad idea. So yeah, I just started getting up at 6 and I have 3 hours every morning. So if you do that 6 days, like 18 hours a week. So yeah, I just started making music like all the time. I met this guy over in the US, Neil Erickson, who's used to teach at Icon Collective, which is a big school over in LA. So I've been working with him ever since. So probably about 4 years now, 4 or 5. So yeah, he helps me make the tracks. He's like really good with mixing, mastering, getting things sounding much better. So my music definitely now has, like I'm doing it end to end with his help, his guidance. Yep. So producing, mixing, mastering, which I could never do before, and then obviously the vocals. So yeah, hopefully it sounds a lot more professional.
But do you want it to sound overly professional? Because you want it to sound reasonably raw as well, don't you?
I don't know.
Authentic? Yeah.
It's a good question. Like the vocals, like I guess the Aussie accent and hip hop's never going to sound like something you want to. It doesn't sound like that smooth, right? So yeah, there's a fine line there. But you definitely want like all the levels boosted up to the max they can go. Definitely want the right amount of bass. So yeah, hopefully it's not too polished, but it's kind of somewhere in between. But it's definitely sounds a lot more professional. Yeah.
And has it evolved from the EP to the album? Is it going to be different or a similar sort of sound? Yeah,
so this EP that I put out is probably more a throwback to like 2010s Aussie rap, I would say. And the album was like the EP is more about like just being I guess being a bit older and making music, and like the whole point of it is just like songs are about more like having another go or just not giving up shit you want to do even though you're a bit older.
Yep.
You know, you have responsibilities you have to take care of, like family and all that sort of shit. So you still do that, but you still can do shit you want to do.
Yeah, and you want to tick this stuff off because you've always wanted to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's been fun. Like I've really enjoyed making music again, and you know, even if I didn't put it out, I'd still be doing it. But the next album is probably more, what would you say? Probably more guitar heavy.
Are you playing guitar?
Some of it. Yep. Some of it, yeah. I'm not really good, but I definitely play a bit of it. As long as I can get a loop, I can do. That's all I need.
Yep.
Yeah, more guitar focused and more, probably a bit more melodic. Yeah.
But still rapping, singing a little bit.
Singing a little bit.
Yeah.
And then a bit more. So I've got like my kids are still young, so I play it to them all the time. So I've kept the swearing out for now. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think they're getting to the age where they know enough about swearing. So I'll see after this.
It's funny. It's like you mentioned before that your eldest is starting to get into graff and wanting to do some legal stuff.
Yeah.
And it must be interesting going to the other side of the spectrum because you start to put yourself in the shoes of where your parents were when you were going out doing stuff. You're like, fuck, I must have been stressing them out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's...
It's all part of maturity and growing up, but you don't think about it when you're a kid though, do you?
Yeah. And that's what this new album is, right? So... I saw this Jim Jeffries, I don't know, the comedian. Yeah. He had something where he's going on about writing a letter to your kid when he turns 18. I thought that was a kind of cool idea. So I've kind of made the songs are generally like stuff you would want to tell your kid without being preachy, but just more stories of cautionary tales more than anything else. But stuff that would resonate, I guess, things that you've learnt along the way. Like if you listen to it, you probably wouldn't notice unless you paid attention to lyrics.
Yep.
But that's kind of like Kendrick Lamar, like Swimming Pools or something. Where if you listen to it, you think it's a song about drinking, but if you're deep in the lyrics, it's actually like it's saying it's actually like about alcoholism. But
yes, I listened to that the other day actually, and sort of had that revelation because I used to think about it like, it's all about drinking booze, and when I listened to it, it's about don't go down that route, which at surface level, but that's what good music is.
Definitely, yeah, and it was like a party song, Swimming Pools, right?
Yeah, it was a huge one for his. That was on his first
album,
commercial.
First commercial, yeah. So that's where I'm trying to focus, and we'll see how it goes. But
yeah. And is it different being a parent and still wanting to do creative stuff? Like obviously you said the swearing is not in it. Do you feel like you're inhibited a little bit with what you can and can't do? I'm guessing you're making different art than what you would have done 20 years ago. Yeah,
it's a good question. I'm much older anyway. Hopefully, I don't think it's not really like if I was just dropping loads of F-bombs and trying to act like a 20-year-old. I'm not that age anymore. So it's kind of what I want to make at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
And also, just like other, my kids are playing this to their mates and their parents and all that sort of shit. No, that shouldn't affect the art too much, but it does. Like, I don't want to, parents start going, oh, listen to his music. He's a fucking dodgy bastard or whatever.
I know, man. I think about that even with this podcast. I don't want it to affect my son to the point that I might have some criminal people on here or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go to his house. They've got people painting graff and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's a fine line because you also got to be who you are.
That's right.
That's the hard thing, you know what I mean? Like, but you also don't want to do too much that negatively impacts the kid. I'm having this struggle now because my son just started school, but I'm like, to him, it's totally normal for people to come over, do graff, drink beers, and listen to hip hop music. It happens pretty much every second day. But I don't want that to negatively impact his schooling life and his friends. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's a tough one. Like, look, I don't feel like I'm compromising. I think this is what I want to be talking about anyway. Like, the stories in the songs of the new album, they're like they're cautionary tales, I guess, essentially, as I said. So they're still kind of stories about doing dumb shit, but not glamorizing it, I guess. You know what I mean?
Like, looking back at it retrospectively, or looking back at it with a more level-headed mindset.
Yeah, like I got a song called like Nothing Bright Happens After Midnight, just about like staying out too late and getting messed up and trying to find your way home and just shit like that. But yeah.
Have you got an album title that you can tell us?
I haven't yet, nah.
You haven't figured it out, or you haven't got it, or you haven't...
I'm still working on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the new one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we're not recording, I might ask you about them. I can see if you'll give us some heads up.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
So what else is coming besides? So you got the album coming out October.
Yeah.
You're still painting a little bit here and there, I'm guessing.
Still
just
painting, yeah.
With the SDM dudes and whatever. Is there any solo shows or any group exhibitions or anything you're doing on that sort of scale?
So I'm in the process of organising a gig at Revolver at the moment.
Part of the Seasons of Change thing, or no?
Well, no, because they're running with the Union Heights guys, right?
Yes.
They've already got that all locked down.
Yep.
They're doing good stuff. So we're going to do a separate show, but it's going to be another track walk where it's like dudes who do graff as well as hip hop, just them doing a show. So I'm still working the lineup, so I won't say anything yet. But that'll be hopefully in October.
Right.
Just after the album comes out.
There you go. I've got something happening in September at Revolver as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, which is similar sort of.
What's that?
I'll talk about later. I haven't actually announced it properly yet, but yeah, it'll probably be maybe like a month before your thing.
Yeah. Okay. Sick.
Best venue getting around.
Yeah, it's a fucking awesome venue, right? Front bar.
And the way that they are keen to just do stuff for culture rather than make money is awesome.
Definitely.
Right? They don't care about that. Like, they even sort of go, as long as this is cool, we'll kind of run it. Breaking even's like a good result. Yeah. That's awesome.
They've been super chill. Like, they've just gone, this is how many it holds, but you don't need anywhere near that many to make it feel like it's big enough, and they're not expecting you to pack it out, sort of thing. They just want you to do a show you want to do, and as long as they're on board with it. Yeah, they're fucking great. Like, it's an institution, right? That's where all the early Oz hip hop shows, they're the first ones to really start pushing it.
Yep,
definitely.
Sure.
Yeah.
So October potentially gig at Revs, October new album, and with that gig might be some art stuff as well. Yeah, well, I don't want to mess with the Seasons of Change, but I'm trying to think about ideas of how we can do something with it. Definitely, yeah. Frank and Riley at Union Heights, I'm sure, would be happy to, work with you in that capacity. I'm sure it wouldn't be stepping on their toes if you did some art stuff there as well, Yeah. I don't want to speak out of school, but I reckon. Yeah. They're cool. Good point. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still working on it. Man, it's been a good chat. Is there anything else we want to touch on before we wrap things up and maybe go and you paint a wall and drink some beers and whatever we're going to do? That sounds like good afternoon, to be honest. Yeah. No, that's it. Look, thanks heaps for having us. Appreciate it. Loving the podcast. Cheers, dude. I am going to ask you, though, before we wrap it up, who would you like to see jump on the mic there? Discreeta. Yes. Well, do you know, man, initially he said he'd do it, and then he didn't. And he's been here a bunch of times. He's got tags up behind you, and I hang out with him all the time. I had dinner with him the other day. but he doesn't want to do it at the moment. But I think he'll change his
fair enough.
mind. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get FOMO soon enough.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we shoot podcasts all the time, but with no microphones and just while I'm drinking a beer and he's sipping on a Coke. But anyway, hopefully we'll get him on the mic soon enough.
Yeah, look, if it's no now, it might be yes later. So hopefully he'll come around. Yeah. He'd be good to get on him.
Yeah, he would. Yeah. He would. I was speaking to someone else in your crew the other day, and I'm like, look, I reckon if I got him, then Discreet might do it as well. If we got a few people here, it might take the edge off a little bit.
It's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah.
The FOMO.
I'm working on it. All right, Method Man, thanks for coming in. It's been a great chat, and I look forward to what you've got coming up for 2025, the album, the show, and all that good shit.
Cheers. Thanks for having us.
No worries,
Thanks,
man.
mate.
Cheers.
3,000.